getting the fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two fucks, but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can fucking die with them or not. I'm not going to.
Hello everyone. So we know that on this channel we don't just cover gore. We also tend to cover some of the weird stuff that goes on in the world sometimes. And for the past few weeks, something's been going on Twitter, and it's basically all I see daily. You might recognise this woman. Now, I'm not one for conspiracy theories and whatnot. I quite like the facts, but this one was just too weird to not cover today. The basis of the video is a woman on an American Airlines flight raving about one of the passengers not being real. And this is where all of these conspiracy theories and whatnot comes in. Basically, people have been passing around rumours about aliens and shapeshifters taking over. Now, me, personally, I think it's bullshit, and I think it could have been for the TikTok. You know what that place is like. It's an absolute fucking cesspool. Either that or she was high on drugs or drunk, which is a far more reasonable excuse than doing it for the TikTok and would probably make her look like much less of an idiot. The video has since been made private on TikTok, but with it being this viral, it's obviously made its rounds on the internet and ended up in several places on the internet. I mean, let's just analyse the video for a minute.
They can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two fucks, but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
The way she speaks just sounds a little off, right? And not because she's upset or angry. This isn't me clutching at straws trying to find something. She genuinely sounds high as shit. Now, I can be completely wrong, but I know she isn't seeing any aliens in that airplane. And some people who have in fact witnessed this going on firsthand on the day did actually mention that she was in fact intoxicated. She was in fact seen to be drinking before she entered the flight. She also managed to lose the AirPod from one of her ears, in which she'd already accused her seatmate of stealing it beforehand. I'll also put it out there that it is entirely likely that she could have a mental illness as well. Maybe having an episode of some kind. And I won't roll off any mental illnesses that it could be. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about mental illness enough to speak on it in that way, and I don't really want to offend anybody by doing so. And I think the weirdest thing about this whole thing going on is that people want to genuinely find this woman, which in hindsight doesn't sound that bad. But then you add to the reason that they want to find her, which is that she is attractive and they want to find her because she's hot. Which is, yeah, it's a bit fucking weird, that, guys. But yeah, as you could hear at the start of the video, during the little section I put in, you can hear that she claims that the man she was sat next to just isn't real. People on the internet and conspiracy theorists claim that she did in fact see a reptile. People insist that the man she sat next to was in fact an alien being, who wore a human suit to blend in with the human race, which by the way is an episode of Doctor Who. These things are called Slitheen's and they're not real. It's a sci-fi TV show, and Christopher Eccleston was in that one actually. Probably one of my favourite doctors. Now, people who attended this flight apparently heard the woman trying to have a full-blown conversation with the man sitting next to her, in which the man wouldn't say a single word back. I mean, 1, maybe he was just tired. 2, Maybe she was being a bitch to him, and maybe he didn't respond just out of respect and because he sat next to her on a however many hours flight they're going on. And he obviously didn't want to cause any tension on that flight. And number 3, maybe the dude didn't speak English. I mean, we haven't found this guy, we haven't heard his side, we don't know who he is, what language he speaks, where he's from, we don't know anything about this man, so yeah, there's 3 reasons there as to why she might have kicked off thinking that this man was an alien, which, Jesus Christ, sounds really stupid while I'm sitting here saying it. And people are claiming all sorts of weird and strange theories about what the woman saw on this flight, even though the woman herself still hasn't been identified at the time of recording this video. For example, apparently this shapeshifter winked at this woman or another person on the flight, but he wouldn't wink like an ordinary human being, he'd actually wink like a reptilian horizontally. And this one in particular made me chuckle, actually. I won't name names, because it sounds utterly ridiculous, but somebody said, when you drink, they're called spirits, therefore, when you drink, you are more susceptible to seeing apparitions of a spirit. And this, by the way, is completely untrue. The reason it's called a spirit is because many years ago, people claimed that spirits had apparent mystical properties that could turn metals into gold. They give it the name spirit in reference to the sort of life force that alcohol would apparently give metallics to turn it into gold. And not because when you drink spirit, you see spirit. And in addition to this, the plane was actually evacuated as well, because the lady aboard the plane started yelling about how everybody was going to die. So they actually ended up performing a bomb sweep, which delayed the flight by about 4 hours. And even after this, she still tried to get back on the flight, but was denied entry, for obvious reasons. Now, I simply can't understand how these theories are being drawn up from a logical side of things. It just seems like people want to put out theories and create something big, which will probably end up being something or nothing. More than likely, nothing. I don't know why people are so quick to assume that she's seen an alien. I really don't. And some people theorise that for some reason the aliens took over an American Airlines flight instead of using their own spaceships. Like they'd take them, Ryanair is much cheaper. So basically, all in all, we literally still have no evidence of your alien shapeshifter boys. All I can say is just don't drink and fly. Guys, it's bad. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.